No one has claimed responsibility for a global cyber attack that disabled at least 2,000 computers in the United States and Europe. The attack started yesterday in Europe. It's still spreading this morning. Hackers crippled computers and told users to pay a $300 ransom to restore access. Ukraine reported the most attacks through its power grid. Government offices, banks, and grocery stores were all affected.
The cyber attack impacted several U.S. companies, including the drug maker Merck and food companies Mondelez International and Nabisco. It also affected a Pennsylvania healthcare system. CBS News senior national security analyst Fran Townsend was a Homeland Security advisor for President George W. Bush. Fran, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
How sophisticated is this, and therefore where might it have come from?
Well, it's one, we're not sure where it came from. Of course, there's much speculation. The attack seemed to start in Ukraine, and so we know that Russia has sort of been behind some of these sorts of attacks against Ukraine. But I don't think anybody really knows, Charlie. The problem with this is, you recall the WannaCry attack, which also was a ransomware attack. This takes that sort of to the next level. That was stopped because there was a kill switch. They haven't found a kill switch to this one yet. And this is more, once this is out in your system, it sort of propagates itself without direct commands from the hackers. And so it is pervasive, and it is sort of difficult to deal with once it's been launched.
Now, we keep hearing that this hacking attack was used by something that was created by the NSA. So what is the responsibility of the NSA to protect us, and how do we protect ourselves?
Gayle, this is the real big debate. Now, of course, NSA has not confirmed, nobody in the government has confirmed that this comes from the Eternal Blue exploit that was an NSA tool. But what we've seen is WannaCry built on that exploit, and now this Petya attack builds again. And that's the problem. When the government creates an exploit and lets it loose into the world, whether intentionally or not, it then gets added to and turned around like a boomerang and comes back at you. And Americans are rightly saying, wait a minute, my tax dollars help fund the development of these tools. Don't you have an obligation to protect me? And the intelligence community struggles. They create these exploits to legally go out and use them against foreign intelligence targets. But then what is their obligation in terms of the American people?
Will the companies pay the ransom?
Well, you know, it's interesting, Charlie. All these ransoms seem to come back to the same Bitcoin address. In other words, you've got to pay your $300 to the same Bitcoin address. I think individuals certainly will, and the question really is, you're right to be asking, is will the companies? I'll tell you, they lose money every day. They don't have access to these hard drives, and so, you know, you worry that they will, which only encourages these kinds of attacks.
I mean, this is the second major attack, I guess, in the last month. What are the vulnerabilities here in the United States?
You know, the interesting thing is, once this became public, right, Microsoft did what you would expect a responsible company to do. They put what we call patches out there. So these are patches to cover the vulnerabilities in Microsoft 7 and 10, which is what the Petya attack takes advantage of. The problem is, in big organizations, as you know, we have thousands of people. Is it properly installed? And what we're finding is some didn't install it at all. Some didn't install it completely.
There you go, Fran Townsend. Thank you so much.